Hello everybody, welcome to Wayne and Ashley's Small World. Today we are going to show you how to make deep dish stuffed pizza in the Giordano style. It's going to be an exact replica of Giordano's stuffed pizza. If you would like to make a deep dish pizza, the only difference that you're going to do is not add the top layer of crust. There's a thin layer of crust that is added on Giordano's pizzas, which they consider it stuffed. If you don't want it stuffed, don't add the crust and just add the sauce, and now you have a deep dish pizza. Giordano's was created in Chicago in the city in 1974. Some others, like Laminating's, they were created in the northern suburbs of Chicago in 1971. The difference between Laminating's and Giordano's is Laminating's uses oil in the bottoms of their pan, and Giordano's uses butter. So you get a nice, flaky, buttery crust with Giordano's. And then with Laminating's, with the oil, you get more of a crispier crust. So you can go either route to get yourself a deep dish or a stuffed pizza. I'm going to show you exactly how Giordano's does their pizza from the very beginning, with the crust, the sauce, putting everything in, cooking it, the whole thing. I'm going to show you every step of the way. It's going to be a 100% replica of Giordano's deep dish or stuffed pizza, and it will taste just like it.
So good.
It's very, very good. It's absolutely delicious. It's Chicago pizza. We also have thin crust pizza for Chicago, which is called tavern style, that the media has dubbed it. So you can check out my other videos that we've done on thin crust Chicago style pizza. And now we will show you how we do the deep dish stuffed Giordano's pizzas.
Stay tuned.
What you'll need for your pizza dough to start the Chicago stuffed deep dish pizza is 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 3 1/4 cup of flour, half a cup of yellow cornmeal, 1 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and you'll need a packet of dry yeast and 1 1/4 cup of warm water. You will first combine all of the dry ingredients. I have the flour already inside the mixer. You will combine the cornmeal, sea salt, sugar, and then the active dry yeast. Then you want to mix. Once you have that mixed together in your bowl, you can mix it by hand, or if you have a mixer, you can do it that way as well. Then you will want to add in your wet ingredients, the 1 1/4 cup of warm water. Make sure it's warm, otherwise it will kill the yeast, not too hot. And then add in your melted butter, your 4 tablespoons, but make sure that is also cooled off, otherwise that will also kill the yeast. And then you mix it until it comes together completely and starts coming off the sides of the bowl and the dough hook. Mix that on low for at least 5 minutes. Once your dough is done mixing, take it out of your bowl. And then you are going to want to make it into a ball. Just work it together until it's a nice smooth ball. I just kind of tuck everything underneath. And just keep tucking. Okay, once you have something like that, then you'll want to get a greased bowl. Put this in the greased bowl, and then you are going to want to pour over some more oil over the top, a little bit, and spread that over the top of the dough. This is important so it doesn't stick to the bowl at all. You should have something that looks like this. Once that's done, cover it. If you have a lid, put the lid on it, or cover it tightly with foil or plastic wrap. Put it in a warm place for at least 2 hours so it can rise. Here's what you'll need to make the sauce. You'll need 2 tablespoons of olive oil divided, so 1 tablespoon in each. You'll need 1 tablespoon of butter. You'll need half of a red onion minced. You'll need a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, 3 cloves of garlic minced. You'll need a 28 ounce of unsalted crushed tomatoes, a teaspoon of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of fresh basil chopped. Okay, first thing you need to do is set your stove to medium heat in a saucepan. Add your 1 tablespoon of butter, and then add your 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Let that heat up for a while. Alright, once that's nice and warm, you'll want to add in your minced onion, Italian seasoning, crushed red pepper flakes, salt, pepper, and then you'll want to mix this until the onion softens. Then you'll want to add in your garlic. And you just want to cook that until fragrant. Then you'll want to add in your can of no salt added crushed tomatoes. And then add in your sugar. Then you want to bring the sauce to a simmer. Then you want to cover this and lower the heat to low and let that go for about ½ an hour until the sauce reduced. Alright, once that's been going for a ½ hour, you want to remove it from the heat. Then you want to stir in your last remaining tablespoon of olive oil and your 2 tablespoons of fresh basil. And just give that a mix. And now your sauce is done. Alright, it's been 2 hours. We let our crust rise. And here we are, it's risen. Just going to want to punch this down. Just get all the air bubbles out of it. And take this out of the bowl. Alright. Work this just a little bit. Then you want to put some flour on your cutting board or your counter, whatever you are rolling your dough out on. You don't want the dough to stick. We're going to place our dough right here on the board. Put a little flour on our rolling pin. And then we're going to roll this out into one big square. Okay, once you have that rolled out nicely like this, there's a little secret at this point. 4 tablespoons of softened butter that you have. Make sure this butter's been laying out and it's room temperature. You're going to take this butter and spread this all over the crust. Okay, once you have your butter spread out all over the crust there, we're going to roll it up into a log. The nice thing about this recipe with the crust, this is exactly what Giordano's does. A lot of people that I've seen do videos on YouTube, they don't put the cornmeal in the crust and they also don't do this. So these are very key elements into making this type of crust for a Giordano's deep dish or stuffed pizza. So take this and we'll start rolling it into a log. So, there you have it. You have a nice log. Pretty cool. Now you're going to cut this in half. Now you have 2 pieces that are rolled up with butter. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but roll these back up. Tuck them in. And roll these back into a ball. Like that. Kind of just tucking these in. Roll this one into a ball. And there we go. We got ourselves 2 balls. Put a little more oil in here. Definitely don't want these to stick. Spread that around. Put both of your balls in there. And then make sure you oil your balls up nicely. And there you have it. Your dough balls are done. Want to cover these up again. And we're going to put these in the refrigerator for at least an hour and to rise again. And it will get the butter to solidify more within the crust. Okay, you want to start out by preheating your oven at 475 degrees. Here I have a cast iron pan. It's 10 inches across. All right, we're going to roll out our dough. I'm going to put some flour on our board. Spread that around. Now what we're going to do when we're rolling this out, we're going to have the dough hang about 2 inches off of each end, all the way around. So we're going to roll out this dough to be bigger than this. We got our dough here. Grab one of our dough balls, pop that down. Start out by pressing this out. So I'm just going to press it out by hand. And this is still cold because it's got the cold butter in there. You kind of just want to flatten it out into a circular shape, and then that way we can roll it out the same way. And put our flour on our rolling pin. I'm going to start at the center, going each way. And you just want to work this each way. What you want to do is get yourself some cold butter, and we are going to rub this all the way around the inside of the pan. Alright, what we're going to want to do is place our crust with inside the pan. You want to lift up the edge and press down. I'm going to get this flat all the way around. Make sure you're pushing into the corners as you lift this up and kind of push against the wall a little bit. I'm going to make sure this is nice and flat in here. Flat in the bottom, flat on the sides, and pushed into the corners. Alright. That looks good. Alright, now this part's not for you if you want to make a deep dish pizza. If you want to make a deep dish pizza, skip ahead of this part. We got another ball of dough that we are going to roll out, because this is going to be a layer we are going to put on top of all the cheese and toppings. This is what makes a stuffed pizza. Otherwise, if you want to make a deep dish pizza, you skip this part. Again, we're going to roll out this piece of dough. And you want to make this one much thinner than the other one. So roll it out as thin as possible. Alright, there you have it. As you can see, pretty thin. Got a thin consistency. I rolled it out as much as I could. It's nice and thin. That'll be our top layer to make a stuffed pizza. Alright, now we're going to put our toppings on. I'm doing Italian sausage. Italian sausage you put at the bottom of this pizza. If you're not doing Italian sausage, like say pepperoni you put at the top. Okay, now that we have our sausage in there, we're going to fill it up with cheese. You want to get a good amount of cheese in there. This is the best part, is having the most cheesiest pizza. After the cheese, you want to put vegetables on. You add your vegetables on top of this. Okay, now we're going to take our other piece of dough and put that right over the top of this. And we're going to press into this and get this all nice and even with our sides. Make sure there's no air pockets in here. We want it nice and flat and up to the sides. Okay, now we are going to take a knife and we're going to cut off the crust around the edges. You want to cut off right into the pan. Alright, now we're just going to pinch all this together all the way around. We're making basically doing this like a pie. So you just want to create a seal all the way around. Alright, and there you have it. There's our crust on top. This makes it the stuffed pizza. Now again, if you don't want stuffed pizza, you want deep dish, leave off this top layer. Just put sauce on it, stick it in the oven. If you want stuffed, slap this on top and do like we just did, all the way around, and then put your sauce on. Before putting the sauce on a stuffed pizza, since this is all enclosed, the air can't escape. So you want to take a knife and just cut some holes all the way around, and this will give it some breathing room. This will allow the steam and the heat to escape. This is a very important part. Alright, so we got some steam holes here that allows that to escape. Next, we're going to put on our sauce. Spread this around. I get it right up to the edge there. Now you don't want to see any of the white dough underneath this. You want to make sure it's fully covered in sauce. That's the thing about a deep dish or a stuffed pizza, is all the sauce on top. Now you probably won't use all the sauce that we made. You can keep that. Use it for dipping, and it's really delicious sauce. And use it for another pizza. Maybe you're making 2 of these. You probably have enough sauce for 2. Now that your sauce is on, you want to sprinkle on some fresh Parmesan cheese on the top. Okay, now you want to put this in your oven at 475 for 25 to 30 minutes. Halfway through, cover it with foil. These will be nice and brown, and this will be cooked on the top. You don't want it to burn, so the foil is going to keep it from having the crust burn and the sauce burn. You don't want burnt crust and burnt sauce. All right, there we are. As you can see, it's very steaming hot. So be very, very careful. You're going to want to let this sit for probably 15-20 minutes to cool off before even working with this. And there you have it. It's all done. So it looks like on the sides. Still really hot, and it's been sitting for 20 minutes. Okay, we're gonna cut the pizza, and unlike tavern style thin crust Chicago pizza, we don't cut this into squares, we cut this into the triangles. So you want to go from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Crust is going to be a little hard, crispy. All right, just want to make sure you keep it together. All right, and then you'll want to cut your smaller slices, unless you want your slices this big. If you got the appetite, go for it. Otherwise, it is very filling, so I'm going to go with smaller slices. And just kind of hold it, try to keep it together. You don't want it going all over the place. All right, here we go. We're going to serve this one up. Be nice and cheesy.
Wow, look at that cheese.
As you can see, we got plenty of cheese here. Looks absolutely delicious all the way around. Okay, and here's what the inside looks like. See that? Absolutely looking delicious. And we do the next slice.
Look at that
Just
cheese.
look at that. Oh man.
Looks amazing.
Look at all that cheese. Love cheese. Who doesn't love cheese? And I got one more.
Look at that cheese. It just keeps on going.
Okay, here we are. This absolutely looks really delicious.
Smells so good.
Okay, we're gonna try this out here. Oh man, look at that. Just look at that.
Yep.
Tastes just like Giordano.
Sure does.
And look at the crust underneath. Nice and crispy there. Flaky. It's so good.
Some really good flavor.
Absolutely delicious. Thank you for joining us today. This is the Giordano's stuffed pizza, or without the top crust, deep dish. If you have any questions or comments, put those down below. We will be responding to you right away. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.